In this sixth episode of Journey about Life, we will be discussing about our daily life and the journey we call life, our lives. First, let us look into daily life. We have understood the whole basis of life. But still, the day-to-day life is confronting us. If you are a serious thinker who is in search, you understand so many things. But the daily tasks are so daunting. Is what we have learned some theory which is different from our day-to-day living? If we consider what we have learnt as some theory which has to be worshipped at specific hours and that we are living as based on different principles, then we are at confrontation, because what we have learned, the theory and the practical life, they are going to be different and they are going to be in confrontation. So theory is of no help to us. So what we can learn from the seers, great seers, again we will look up to them. Vedanta does not say that one should detach the world or isolate oneself in some world other than this. This is mostly from Shivananda. He does not proclaim that anyone should forsake his duties or put on castor oil face or behave in an intolerable manner. The truth of existence is one and indivisible. That division or separation, hatred, enmity, quarrel, and selfishness are against the eternal truth. It is not a question of abandoning something or holding on to something, but of a change in the vision of life or drishti. It is a change in the way of functioning of the consciousness that is required by Vedanta. The body will be there, its activities will be there, but these will be transformed into the liberated life, Jivan Mukti, by the touch of the philosopher's stone of the knowledge of the self. This life of self-knowledge is life at its highest and the best. This is the most blessed state, the state of freedom. That is mainly an extract from Swami Shivananda's writings or talks. So we all know that we cannot avoid bodily functions or the daily life. Then how we are to function without attachment? The only way is to see the things we encounter in our life, in our daily life, as transient, which actually they are. Let us see a Zen story on this, about transient. A famous spiritual teacher came to the front door of the king's palace. None of the guards tried to stop him as he entered, because Buddhist monks were one time revered highly and nobody stops them. And he made his way to the king himself, who was sitting on his throne. "What do you want?" asked the king, immediately recognizing the visitor. He is a master who is well known. The monk or the master replied, "I would like a place in this inn or hotel to sleep. But this is not an inn or a hotel. It's my palace, the king replied. So the monarch asked the king, may I ask who owned this palace before you? My father is dead. And who owned it before him? My grandfather, he too is dead. So this is a place where people live for a short time and then move on. That's what you are telling. But you are telling it's not a hotel or an inn. So now we are without attachment, still the external circumstances are not under our control. They pose difficult situations for us. How to face that? That is the other thing. So we know the world is transient and we move on with our life. Still, the external situations pose difficult situations. So how to face that? The only way is to flow along with life on things we cannot change. And that is another story for this, a Taoist story, going with the flow. So there was an old man who accidentally fell into a river which was on spade. So the rapids were leading to a high and dangerous waterfall. The onlookers were fearing for this man's life. But miraculously this man came out alive, unharmed, downstream at the bottom of the falls. People asked him how he managed to survive. He told them, I accommodated myself to the water, not the water to me. Without thinking, I allowed myself to be shaped by it. Plunging into the swirl, I came out with the swirl. This is how I survived. I did not resist the water. I did not resist the flow. So that is the learning. Life is not something apart from us. We are not in confrontation with life. You are life. You are not in confrontation with life. It is not something to be fought and won. It is not a problem to be solved. Life is to be lived. Enjoy every moment of your life. Live your life. Life will have ups and downs. You will be like a catamaran tossed up and down by the waves. But this is applicable for the external lives of even great seers. Everybody has their own ups and downs. The great seers who have been in the history, in their external life, they had many ups and downs, but they maintained an equilibrium, equanimity in their mind, internally, in their sense. Only their mind or consciousness was unwavering and stable. If you enjoy every moment of your life, then your mind also will be stable. Only small and ordinary things in life are enjoyable. Don't wait for some miracle to happen. That may never come. Maybe somebody is lucky, some miracle happens. But for most of us, our daily life goes on. But the little things in life, that's where your satisfaction or happiness is. So we will end this part with another Zen story. When Bankei, a monk, was preaching at Ryomon temple, a Shinzo priest who believed in salvation through repetition of the name of the Buddha of love was jealous of his large audience and wanted to debate with him. Bankei had a large audience and many people were jealous of it. So this priest, who was from the rival camp, came there and he wanted to debate with him. Banke was in the middle of a talk when the priest appeared, but the fellow made such a disturbance that Banke stopped his discourse and asked about that noise. Then this disciple told, the founder of our sect had such miraculous powers that he held a brush in his hand in one bank of the river. His attendant held a paper on the other bank, and the teacher wrote the holy name of Amida, that is Buddha, through the air. Can you do such a wonderful thing? This was a boast from the priest that his master could, without even touching from the other bank of the river, he could remotely write the name of Buddha on the disciple who was holding a sheet of paper in the next bank, opposite bank. Can you do that? Banke replied lightly, perhaps your fox can perform that trick, but that is not the manner of Zen. Yeah, your master can do so many tricks, but that is not Zen. My miracle is that when I feel hungry, I eat, and when I feel thirsty, I drink. So what is my miracle? If I am hungry, I eat. If I am thirsty, I drink. So that sentence became a very famous sentence, very deep sentence with a very deep meaning. Just go through that. I eat when I feel hungry and I drink when I am thirsty. So simple, but that is life. That is what we are going to do. That is the reality of life. You cannot escape life. Enjoy your life. So now we will go into the second part of this part of the series, the journey called life. Is our life a journey between birth and death? We are born, we are dying, and in between this time and space we travel. So what is the goal? Collecting maximum experiences? Let us go through that. The Hinduism divides life. Say you are 100 years, a man normally lives 100 years. Let us assume that. Then the first 25 years is called student life. The second 25 years, married life or a householder's life. Third 25 years is a detached life, forest dweller or a hermit. Fourth part is the renounced life, totally moving away from the day-to-day normal life, ascetic stage. So each period has definitive goals. There are defined three paths to salvation: work, devotion, knowledge, karma, bhakti and jnana. So everything is so defined and we only have to walk the path, the set path, and reach the goal or salvation. But does this happen? All these four parts of the life, you lead a bachelor life, student life, then go through the householder's life, then become detached, then renounce, then you are into salvation. Does it happen so easily in the set path? You do your karma, then bhakti, then reach jnana. Does it go that way? No, never. Not for most of us. We all know that. So let us read the trailing paragraph, which is again a quote. The references I will give in the end. Human society has been around for tens of thousands of years. More than 1,000 generations of humans have walked the earth. About 110 billion humans have existed throughout history. Of those, very few have left traces of their existence, apart from few bones maybe. You are a fellow traveler on this journey called life. Like me, you have read all the books, including The Secret, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, Who Moved My Cheese, you name it. You have attended countless seminars, yet you have not achieved the results you desire. You had hoped to get promised land through these books or seminars, yet they were not the ticket. We thought life finally gave all we are hoping for. Not really. Where did we end up? After walking the fire, simply on the other side, which looked just like the place where we started. So with a little common sense, we can understand that it is important. What is important is not the imagined goal, but the reality of the journey of life, which is every day, every minute and every second. The goal is not some imagined utopia or a different experience, but the reality of consciousness. Realization is not at the end, but it is our own self, our consciousness, which is the very beginning. Yeah, it is not some, you realize you become transformed into something else. The consciousness, the awareness is there from the beginning. So one has to be aware of that, remove the clouds which is covering up the understanding. That's what we have to do. Life is a continuous flow. It is not compartmentalized into 3 or 4 stages. It's a continuous flow. You cannot compartmentalize this into 4 stages of life. Realization is not through a method. It does not involve time. That is why Zen talks about a moment or a word. So read what Ramana Maharishi says. Our real nature is mukti. We are imagining we are bound and we are making various strenuous attempts to become free. While we are all the while free, this will be understood only when we reach that stage. We will be surprised that we are frantically trying to attain something which we have always been and are always been. Knowing the self is being the self, and being means existence, one's own existence. What is told by Ramana Maharishi is the plain truth. If it is not clear to you, read the following story, a Buddhist story. Single breath. Buddha asked his disciple Shramana, how long is human lifespan? One disciple replied, a few days. Buddha said, you have not understood the way. He asked another disciple, how long is this human lifespan? Reply was, space of a meal. No, you too have not understood. Then he asked another, the length of a single breath. Buddha said, yeah, excellent, you have understood the way. This is told in the section 38 of the sutra in 42 sections. So life is only the length of a single breath. It's not years, it is not months, days or weeks. Every breath we live, that is a life. It is born and it dies. Every breath is born and it dies. So that is a very important truth to be realized and cherished. Live the moments and understand that you are consciousness itself and nothing more. So we have come to the end of this part, and we will be continuing further our journey. Please subscribe to my channel and let us move deeper and deeper. Thank you.